All right, what's up, everybody? I am back with another response video. It is kind of late, as you can see, 9:22. It's definitely past my bedtime. But I wanted to jump up here and do some videos, man. The kids are in the house, should be getting into bed, and come outside to try to make some of these videos. It's raining outside. It feels good out here, and there's some peace and quiet. And I've been doing some stuff with the kids this week, trying to get them situated. Um, so I haven't made too many videos. So I wanted to jump up here tonight and make one or two of them. For you guys that are waiting on the rates videos, I'm going to do some of those tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning. I don't want to do them on the weekend. As I realized and was thinking about it the other day when I was making some on the weekend, it's not smart to, well, I shouldn't say not smart because you can still get a good idea of what's in the area, but it's not as fresh on the weekend as it is during the weekday. So I'm gonna try to make some of those tomorrow. Um, don't want to say early in the morning because some stuff may not be up there. I'll probably try to do it somewhere around about, a little bit before lunchtime. So this video here is going to be in response to, actually, it's going to tie in one or two of these of the questions. Here it says I have, and this is G Marola. I know I'm killing your name. I'm sorry. But I have questions to get DOT number and MC number. I need to have commercial insurance. Um, Already or just after. So I'm gonna try to answer that question there. I think the same guy sent one that says, Joe, really appreciate it. Can you search Colorado? I'll hit you up tomorrow. Before we see the rates, I'm thinking of doing a 5 car hauler. Thanks, man. God bless. God bless you too, brother. Uh, Let's see here. And this one here says, just got my LLC and wanted to start car hauling only in Texas. Can you tell me what insurance do I need to start picking up cars from Central Dispatch or other dispatches? So those are the two questions that we're going to try to hit, and maybe this one also. Um, Says, what's this car habit? Says, hi, I'm trying to get into car hauling. I just got my DOT and MC number, and I'm in the 21-day wait period right now. I'm out of Hickory, North Carolina, as a new authority. Is it hard to get loads on lowboys? And is Central Dispatch going to be my best option? Thanks. Okay, so I'll do that one in another video, but we'll do these two here. So pretty much this video, we're going to be talking about insurance. It's not going to be a long video. It's going to be short because it's not a lot to it. First, I will say this. When you are filing for your DOT and your MC number, you do not get insurance right away because you don't want to have to start paying insurance while you're waiting for that 21-day wait period. What you do is you go ahead and fill out that application, $300 fee to get your DOT, your MC number through the FM SCSA. I think I just said that wrong, did I? It's the FMCSA, excuse me. Um, you go ahead and fill out the application, pay that fee, wait those 21 days. During that period, you have some other stuff you have to get done, like the BOC3, where you simply pay a company to go up there and file that. Give me 1 second. Why is my table looking like this? Oh, wow. That looks like it's bubbled up really bad. You'll pay a company to go ahead and file that for you. And you go through that process. That's during that 21 days. You don't want to have to pay insurance while you're waiting. What you want to wait for before, I mean, you can go ahead and get your quote and all that type of stuff, but before you put insurance active, you want to wait until the 18th day, the 20th, not 20th, 18th or 19th day, before you activate that insurance. And hopefully you already have a game plan on what you're planning on doing and what you're going to be doing, because you don't want to have to pay that high insurance if you're not already hitting the road. or you're not making money or you can't afford to, because every month that insurance is going to be coming in, and if you ain't making money, I mean, you're paying $1,000, $1,300. I've heard some say 2,000, and so on and so on. If you're paying that much per month, man, insurance is going to be killer. So that's something to think about, something to consider. So that's how you're going to handle that, right? After that as you get towards that wait period, that's when you're going to put your insurance in place. So as far as the insurance that you need, the FMCSA, they only require you the minimum insurance that you can have, as far as liability is 750,000. Right. But in this game, you see that says up to 5 million or something of that nature, depending on the commodities transported and so on and so on. I will go ahead and tell you, in the car hauling industry, that 750,000, as far as liability, it's not going to cover it. They're not going to accept that. You got to have, most of these companies are going to require you to have at least $1 million of insurance there, just for starters. And then, as far as your actual insurance part, that most of these companies, what I did was I looked at some of them, and Holly, they show a good one. The Certus also shows something like this. It shows you what is going to be required. Matter of fact, let me pull up Central and see if Central pulls it up as well, because I think that they do. I don't want to sign in. I want to know, yeah, carriers. Let me see if they got the requirements up there. Because, well, that's the same page. Let me see. Um, I think they put it up here as well. What your requirements are. Yep, right here. Okay. Um, Let me zoom into that just a little bit. All right, so for Central Dispatch, because I think somebody asked that question. Let's see. Never see commercial insurance already. Just having or here. So as far as getting your DOT number and your MC number, you don't have insurance when you fill out that application. You did your market research to try to see what best insurance you can have. Like in North Carolina, I think the only two that write for car hauling in North Carolina is National General and Progressive, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I was told by Progressive, because that's what I had insurance with. Oh, no, 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 no. Agent told me that. I'm sorry. So you won't have it in your initial stages, but you should have already did your market research. You should already have got a quote and all that type stuff, but you're not going to make it active until you're in around about that 18-day mark. Because you got a total, when you fill out that application, you got a total of 60 days before that application is no good. So you're going to wait until around about that 18th day. And if you're not actually ready to get your MC number, or you're not ready to go on the road, you don't have to have the insurance right then. You got up to 60 days for that application before it is expired. So if you need to hold off for a month before you activate that insurance, something comes up last minute, then you can do that, because you got it 60 days, but you got to do it within that 60-day time frame. And I wouldn't wait until those 60 days. Yeah, yeah, give yourself at least a grace period to make sure it goes active and so on and so on. So that should answer your question as far as that. This one right here, we'll get into the insurance that's going to be required for it. I'm also going to show you a copy of the insurance that I had when I first got it. I think, yeah, I believe that was the first one that I had. So what are the requirements to be a carrier on Central Dispatch? Right here, you have to be have an active MC number with the FMCSA, and they require you to have 1 million active liability insurance policy, right? Most of every company, all of these largest companies, they're going to require you to have 1 million in liability insurance. So, when you talk to them, your insurance agent, um, you know, or just direct insurance through whoever you're going through, make sure you got 1 million, because again, 750,000 is the minimum requirement, but you got to have 1 million. Recommended cargo insurance per vehicle haul is 35,000. So if you can haul 3 vehicles, what they're saying is 35,000 times three. You'll see that in a minute, right? 50,000 is preferred, but less is acceptable. For instance, if you can haul 10 vehicles, it is recommended that you have at least 350,000 cargo coverage, just in case you damage one of the vehicles or something of that nature. Now, that's for those that are going over the road. This is for those that are going to be operating within their state. Active USDOT and or state specific authority as needed. 300 minimum active liability insurance policy. Um, this right here is still going to be somewhere up to that 750,000, because I think, again, that's the minimum required of the FM CSA. Um, and most of these companies, I'll show you in a minute, regardless of whether you're local or going over the road, or whether you're local, they're going to require you to have higher insurance. So we're going to go over here to, that's for Central, right? So we're going to go over here to Hawley real quick, because most of the companies are going to mimic this very same thing that they are doing. So it says liability requirements limited to 1 million per occurrence. That's going to be what you saw a while ago. 2 million aggregated for bodily injury and property damage. Cargo insurance, if you are 1 to 3 car hauler, they require you to have at least $100,000 in cargo insurance. If you're 4 to 6, 200,000. 7 to 9, 250,000. 10 car, used car only 250,000, and if 10 car and you're doing brand new cars, 350,000. That's the same number that you saw over here, Central, 350,000. All of your major companies, they're going to require you to have it. Now, if you're dealing with just dealer to dealer, if you're dealing with not new dealerships, if you're dealing with the big dealerships, they're going to require you to have it as well. But if you're dealing with like your mom and pop type dealerships, you know, all they want to see is that you got some insurance. They're not going to really even pay attention to all that. Um, your insurance company must have a B plus rating or higher. They even got a requirement on the insurance company that you can use. These are the scores. Unsafe driving, 65 percentile. Hours of service, 65. Driver fitness, 80%. Who actually checks that? Controlled substance, 80%. And vehicle maintenance, 80%. Right, so they even monitor your scores, so they want you to keep up with the scores that you have. And these companies definitely, they can look up your score. So, when you're going through these weight stations, or you're getting these inspections, these level ones, level two, or whatever you're getting, and you want to make sure you have your equipment where it needs to be, because getting a bad rating on your your inspections, it's going to take up your insurance. Because your insurance company is going to get it. These companies right here, they'll be able to look it up and see it. Hell, I can get up there and look it up and see it as just a regular person. You can too. All you have to do is simply go to the FMCSA website. You can look up anybody's score, any company score, which is why when you fill out that application, you start getting all them doggone calls and text messages and, hey, we do this, we do that, because most people can see it. How can I help you, sir? That water cold. What water? Okay, well, wait until it warm up. My little man. Um, so, make sure you have your stuff where it needs to be, and make sure you're keeping up with, your equipment and all that kind of stuff, because everything that you do in this game, man, it affects you. From driving to one gas station to the next gas station, paying, saving 20 cent per gallon in diesel here versus paying, more at this place. At the end of the day, man, it affects your bottom line. Just the small things in this business will get you. It'll take you out. The things that you're not paying attention to. You put a car down. You don't check your straps after you, put it up there. You get in the car and you don't forgot to put a strap up there. Next thing you know, the wheel done popped off the railing. And the car is sitting locked beside it. It's crazy stuff. I've seen it happen, right? So, just check it. I had a guy one time, man. He was out driving, man, and He was going to Raleigh. They have a car show in Raleigh, man. And I'm on the phone with him. I'm at a Copart, man, and he's in Raleigh moving these cars because I'm out of town. And there's this bad chick at the Copart, man, and of course, ain't that many chicks in the game, right? As far as that you're seeing on a daily basis, doing it. So, man, everybody's out there looking at her. All these guys are trying to help her out, all this kind of stuff. She ended up coming over there to me, and asking me, about the height, asking me about this, asking me about that, and so on and so on. So I was helping her out. Meanwhile, guy was calling me on the phone, said he was stuck. So I was trying to figure out what in the world are you talking about? You stuck? Yeah, man, I turned in and I'm stuck. The trailer won't move and so on and so on. And at the same time, I'm talking to the female. Not that I was trying to talk to her more than talking to him, but you telling me you're driving and you're stuck. This ain't making no sense. What are you talking about? Pretty much what it was though. Small mistake. Something not paying attention. He when he put the trailer hooked up the trailer to his truck, he didn't raise the landing gear all the way. So when he went to turn into a driveway, that landing gear caught and it stopped him immediately. And he couldn't move at the time. He had to, what he did was hit the gas and power through it to get off the road, and then got out and realized that landing gear was down. So, small mistakes like that, it can cost you in this game. So, something that's an off subject a little bit, but I'm going to show you this right here, and then we're going to end this video. How many minutes are we at? 16. Boy. So hopefully that answers your questions. That's one question of as far as your MC number and your DOT. You're not going to have insurance when you file for that. You're going to wait until almost that 21 days is almost over to put it active. That way you're not paying for that insurance. Until you get almost close to go active. And the day that you receive that MC number, that letter, not MC number, but you got to receive the letter. Once you get that letter and you got that authority in your hand, man, you should already have everything ready to go. You should have your book ready, just in case you get stopped by DOT with that letter in it, with your insurance in it. Keep that notebook with you, with your, inspections, copy of your driver's license if you have to. So many different things that you can put in there that you want to have in there related to, what you're doing. Your BOLs, when you're on a specific trip, DOT will always ask you, where are you coming from? Where are you headed to? They're always going to ask you that question. And because, whether if they do an inspection on you, they're going to give you some paperwork regardless, whether they're giving you ticket or whether they're giving you in the clear. They're going to give you paperwork saying, hey, everything was good, you passed, nothing's wrong. Or if they're going to bring you over to pickle barrel, then they're going to give you one of those two. Yes, ma'am.
I teach you don't like people.
Tell them to be quiet. They're too loud. And close the door. Jesus Christ. So, just make sure you have that ready, and, make sure you got all your equipment and everything, because as soon as you get that letter, man, you need to be busting the dough in. You should have not already, because you're going to have to wait for a second, or for a couple of days, because when you first put in for Central, they don't put you up there right away. And they require you to have your insurance. So, as soon as you get your insurance, as soon as you get your MC number and you are authorized, go ahead, and even before you get the letter, these companies are going to hit you up letting you know what your MC number is, because they'll be able to see it, they'll be able to look it up, and you can go to the FMCSA website portal, and you'll be able to see your MC number too. So as soon as you get that MC number, you can go ahead and sign up for Central. So once you get it, don't wait. Sign up for them right away, because it's going to take them, a couple of days to get to it. And if they haven't got to you within a week, call them, get them on the phone and tell them, hey, filled out the application. I just want to check status of it, so on and so on. That way you can get rolling, because that next month is coming in where that insurance is going to be required. And, if you don't have it saved up, that's going to hurt you off top anyway. You know what I mean? So, Just something to be mindful of. I'm going to show you this real quick. This was around about the time that I started. This is with Progressive, with Progressive Commercial. The date on this was July 19th. Um, let's see. I marked out a few things up here. It's old, but I still marked a few things. You never know. There's some crazy people in the world. Not saying that anybody's crazy on this channel, but you know. I'm showing you this for a purpose too, because my first year I went directly to Progressive myself and got the insurance. That next year, that following year, I actually talked to an agent and he was like, "Hey man, I can get it down some and so on and so on." And he's the same guy that writes the policies on my rentals. House rentals. So they do the commercial side, they do home rentals, personal insurance and all that kind of stuff like that. So I let him look into it, and he was able to save me some money. And I saw what he did in order to save it. So I want to show this to you, and I'll bring it out as I'm talking about it. Right here was that $1 million in bodily injury, your liabilities, uninsured motorist, $1 million coverage. That was that thing up here where Holly is talking about that $2 million right here aggregate insurance, the body injury and property damage. That's what I was talking about that at, right? Where was that? You come down here, I think they put this up there. It comes with the insurance, medical payments, or I opted for it just in case. Collision. This is something that's important right here, which are comprehensive and collision. I think I put all of my deductibles. This is different here now. But I'm just marking the word deductible. I think I put the deductibles up here at $1,000 because that was required by the finance company. Here's the difference, right? When the agent did it, he took my deductibles from being 1,000, which could hurt me, but it helped lower the insurance, right? He took it from being 1,000 to being 2,500, right? And I never got a call from the finance company or anything of that nature saying, "Hey, you only got 2,500. Your deductible was supposed to be 1,000." So me trying to be honest, I don't even want to say that, but me trying to be an honest person and do the right thing, I put it at 1,000 because hey, I didn't know no better. I thought I had to have it at 1,000, but he took it and put it at 2,500, which actually saved some money. Um, so of course, the lower your deductible is, the higher your insurance is going to be as well. So by taking it to 2,500, he saved some money there. Motor cargo truck, motor truck cargo. Now, this is me, thinking that, hey, I'm gonna need all this insurance or this is what I need and so on and so on. The people asking on the phone, hey, just give me 250,000, or they give you the options, and I'm just going for the high one that they said, right? And not knowing, not thinking, not being smart with it, not doing the full research that I needed to, I only was required to have $100,000 because I wasn't carrying any more than 3 cars. When I first started, it was 2 cars. As I continued on, it moved to 3 cars. So I should have had this down to 100,000 off top. So that's another thing that he did. As soon as he took it, he looked at the policy and hey, we could take this down to 100,000. At 100,000, it saves some money. So with this total, the 12-month policy was 13,431. Let me see. Where's me calculator? Is he up here? I probably saw it just then. Let me see if this is about right of how much it came out, because I think it was 1331 divided by 12. Right, but I think they do it in a 10-month spell or either 11-month spell. So let me change this. Hmm. No, because I want to say it was higher than that. So I think that was just the premium for this right here. Of course, then of course you're adding this up, so those are different ones. So I don't know what I'm thinking. It's different. I'm about to say I know that can't be right. Let me add this in real quick. 13, 4, 3, 1, and plus that 10, 9, 9. I was definitely having the brain fart then, because they definitely ain't giving you nothing that cheap. Let me see, that was then. We'll just use those two numbers for now, just to give you, what did I just do? I screwed that up, times two. Alright, so we're back at that number. I think it was, they do it in a 10-month increment or 11-month. So my payments per month was somewhere around about, I think it was 2367 or 2267. This is a little bit more. So I think it was right at 23. Let me do it in 11. Yeah, it was somewhere around about that 2267 or 2367, something of that nature, right? And you can see up here the commodities that I had listed because I was just telling them some of the stuff that I had was hauling. So they listed some of these up here. Now I would tell you anybody that's doing freight or car hauling is going to pay more than somebody that's just doing freight. Freight is a lot cheaper on the insurance than it is for someone that's doing car hauling. And I guess they just look at it different. Even the requirements. If you're doing just freight, you probably won't have nothing but 750,000. Some of them may require you to have $1 million in coverage or something of that nature, but you'll probably be at the minimum. For some reason, when you're doing cars, man, I guess it's just a higher liability area, more damage area, or something of that nature. When you're doing car hauling, you're going to pay more in insurance than someone that's just plain old doing freight. But at the time, if you look at that video that I did on trailers, you'll see the trailer that I had. I could do freight and I could do cars, so that's why I was doing that. Of course, I got a 2018 Dodge Ram 3500. Here's another difference that I want you to pay attention to, want you to look at, right? Right here, you can see up here, radius. The insurance company always asks us this question about radius. In fact, I got a passenger van that I have to have commercial insurance on because they want to insure it with personal insurance. So they just sent me a thing in the mail the other day and said, hey, what's your new radius or what's your radius you're doing? They're doing a update to the account. If you don't respond, they're going to automatically put it at 200. It's going to take your insurance up. It's a little bit, or might be a lot actually, right? So that van, I barely drive it. I sent them a letter back or sent it through email, 25 miles, right? So this right here is important. 500-mile radius. The higher this number is right here, and I didn't understand this in the beginning, and I had a guy to even tell me about it. Like, man, when I did it, he was like the agent that I talked to. She didn't put it that high. She put it real low. Because you don't know when you first start and really how far you're gonna be running, what you're gonna be doing, and so on and so on. So this number right here, they're gonna always ask you what's the radius you're gonna go. Now, I'm not trying to tell you to lie. I'm not trying to tell you to do something that you shouldn't do or something of that nature. But me not knowing better, I'm just talking. Hey, I'm gonna be running 500 miles. I'm gonna run 600 miles. I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? Not knowing any better. The higher you put that mileage radius, then the more your insurance is gonna be. Now, with this number here, I don't care if you tell them that you're going 50 miles round trip. If you tell them 100 miles, right? I'm thinking that if I only tell them 100 miles and I go outside that 100 miles and I get in an accident or something happens, they're not going to cover my vehicle. That's not so, right? If you got insurance on your vehicle, if you tell them 100 miles and you're way out there in California, guess what? If you get in an accident there, they're going to cover that vehicle. They have to because you have insurance. Now, they're not going to like it. They're going to ask some questions about it and all that kind of stuff, but they still have to cover that vehicle because that's the insurance, right? So that number right there, when it comes to radius, it needs to be as low as you can, as low as you can get that thing and feel comfortable letting them know. And just starting out, I probably wouldn't tell them no more than 100-mile radius in hindsight, because again, when you first start out, you really don't know how far you're gonna run. You don't know if you're going to be able to get, them 500-mile trips and so on and so on. And to be honest with you, at this point in the game, I don't even want 500-mile trips. I don't want 600-mile trips unless it's paying good money. Now, if it's paying decent money, I would take it. But 9 times out of 10, the longer the trip, the less it's paying. Unless you're in the freight market, that might be a little different there, but it's still similar in that too. You'll find that the shorter trips are paying more per mile than the longer trips are. So that number right there in the beginning stages, don't jump out there and tell them, hey, I'm gonna be running balls to the walls. I'm going 500 miles out there. You know what I mean? Don't do that because you're gonna mess yourself up. Keep this number as low as you can. So you know, again, with the way that I had it up there, with the numbers that are up there, again, it was around about 2267, 2367, somewhere in that nature. I was looking, trying to find for the documents because I keep them, I scan everything that I get. I scan all the documents I get, any kind of important mail that I get, I scan it. So I got it somewhere and I need to find it. And if I do, I'll throw it up here. But that's somewhere where the payment was. But when that second time around, I got the agent to put it in place. And when he put it in place, I hope you can't hear that wind because the wind is picking up a little bit. Let me slide over. It's raining a little bit. When he put it in place, it came down somewhat because he adjusted those things. The deductible, he adjusted, took that from 1,000 to 2,500 for comp and collision. And he changed this radius here. Um, and he took this motor truck cargo down to 100,000 because if you're hauling 1 to 3 cars, that's all that you need as far as these companies are concerned, to be able to operate under them. So most of your major companies are going to require you to have that. So I hope that answers some of your questions. Let me get off this video because I've been talking about this one. Oh, it's not as long as it normally is. So um, hopefully that answers your questions, for both of you guys because I kind of tie this in together, and that helps you, with your response. Now, I will say for here, Costa, I'll call you. I can see that. Texas, I don't know if Texas has a different requirement. I don't know if their insurances are higher. What I'm telling you is just based off of the federal stuff, the FMCSA, and what these companies are going to require, right? So as far as Texas is concerned, as far as the state, if they have something different that you have to look into or something of that nature, more than likely they won't. But I know what North Carolina requires and so on and so on. But your DOT number and your MC number is coming from the Fed, so honestly, it should all be the same. But don't know, just in case something different is going on there. But hopefully that answers your questions. If you have any more questions, let me know. Again, I'm trying to stay on top of these videos. I had some stuff that I had to do with the kiddos this week. Changing out some of the beds, updating their beds, and some things in the house and things at school and some events or because of holiday time. So I haven't been able to really just sit down and jump up here. So I'm going to try to get to these questions a little bit sooner. I may do a live up here on YouTube or again, go to the Discord. I think there's only about 4 people up there right now. But I'm about to start getting on the Discord, doing some live type chats and doing, some, responding to questions up there as well. So I want to get to these questions as soon as you put them up there. I want to respond to them rather quickly, so that you're not waiting a couple of days before you even get a response. So that's my plan. At some point in time, I'll, about to say I may even get a number, man, where you can text me directly. I don't want to necessarily put my personal number out there because I already get calls that I don't want now, from God knows who. And not to say that I wouldn't want your calls, but at the same time, so many calls coming in from different angles because I do a lot of different things. I don't want to confuse it. So what I may actually do is get add another telephone number, telephone line, and put it active, and then put it up there, and be able to take calls and texts and all that kind of stuff. I may actually do that very soon, but we shall see. But that's it for now. I'll catch y'all on the next one, which might be in a few minutes. We shall see. Bye bye. Thanks.